snuff that out as Spurs play this forward. Davies into Kane, but he can't find another Tottenham shirt. It's cleared away towards the halfway line, but there's no way out for the Bees right now because Højbjerg has it on the halfway line. Højbjerg still 0-0 here on BBC Radio London. We've had 14 first half minutes, and Eric Dyer has it inside the centre circle. No Ajer, no Norgard today for Brentford. The only change for Spurs is Son tries to pick out Sessegnon on the left. The only change for Tottenham is Sessegnon in for Reguilon from that rather disappointing defeat to Brighton on Easter Saturday. Throw in Brentford, who've had to kind of retreat, haven't they, Bradley, after such an expansive opening 5 minutes or so. Yeah, but with the quality of Thomas Frank as a coach and his coaching staff, they would have looked at what Brighton did last week without the ball and how compact, you know, so little space between the lines for Spurs to probe and work the ball, and they really frustrated Tottenham, and Tottenham resorted to playing maybe too much from back to front, and then Brighton picked the ball up as well. They did a very, very sound job on them at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium last week, and that's something that in parts of this game Brentford are going to have the concentration to do. You would have thought that Thomas Frank would have had a long, hard look at how Brighton against Tottenham at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium last Saturday played out. Antonio Conte's on the edge of his technical area already, getting some instructions on as this goes back to Lloris, away to our right. Brentford get the chance to leave their own half of the field for the first time in a little while. It's clipped out wide to Romero on that far side of the field and sent forward straight to Sorensen, but I think the referee had spotted the fact that the ball had left the field of play, so it's a Brentford throw on that far side of the field. Sorensen's going to see, he has got a phenomenal long throw on him, Mads Bech Sorensen. We might not see it here, although he's tried to pick out Tony. Half cleared to Janelt. Goes back to Pontus Jansson on the halfway line, and Brentford now pushing Spurs into their own half of the field. Here's Matthias Jensen, keeps this central with Janelt, swung wide to Sorensen on the left, drilled into the feet of Ivan Toney. Henry, Jensen does well to take Bentancur out of the game and swings it wide for Ghoddos. Lovely football by Brentford. The cross from Ghoddos is blocked by Sessegnon. Brentford corner, their fourth of the game. Excellent play from Brentford. Left to right hand side, lovely diagonal pass, and he just got it out of his feet. Ghoddos tried to wind the cross around the back of Sessegnon. It's deflected out. Another corner once again, lifted the Brentford home faithful. Christian Eriksen with this corner. As I said, he's taken them all so far, and they've sent Janssen and Janelt into the penalty area. Sorensen's on the edge of the 6-yard box. This is clipped in, and it's a brilliant header off the bar from Toney and flicked away by Dyer. Well, there's an injury to Lloris, who I think tried to stop. He may have flicked it onto the bar, actually, but he landed awkwardly. It's a towering header from Brentford, and away to his right-hand side. I think he's managed to fingertip touch this, Hugo Lloris, onto the crossbar. We're just trying to have a little look at the screen. The screen's got the sun in it. I think it's Toney who crashes the header towards Toney goal. That comes in on it. Brilliant leap. Oh, it's just straight off the crossbar, possibly. Lloris didn't, but then I think Lloris then collided with Janssen. As Pontus Jansson went for what would have been a follow-up, I think he's landed on Hugo Lloris. That's going to hurt Bradley. Yeah, he's just taking his time, just to sort of be weight-bearing again here. French World Cup winner. Ivan Toney's crashed a header off the bar. Go out of play, or is it going to be a drop ball possibly on that left-hand side? They had to stop it because the goalkeeper was lying prone on the ground. We're going to update the situation on FM again in just a few moments' time. But yes, we have an excellent TV monitor here, but because of the strong sun, all we can really see is our own reflection, Bradley, which, charming as it is, can't really see the replays that are being offered to us. Here's Eriksen with the distribution again, and Henry finds Jensen, left-hand side, edge of the Spurs box. Little dink ball by Henry into Jensen, back to Henry. Lovely football by Brentford. Drops to Eriksen, 25 yards from goal, tries to funnel a pass, but it's spotted by Dyer, and he clears the danger to the halfway line. But this game has really ebbed and flowed, and at the moment it's Brentford who are on top. Well, I just think there's, at the moment, and in spells, Nick, more energy with Brentford. They're quicker to the ball. And Bremo's little back heel almost releases Ghoddos. It's another corner. They're really on top here, and Tottenham are being forced to defend.
for longer spells and increasingly coming under pressure.
Christian Eriksen has taken 5 corners in the opening 19 minutes of this game. This is the 5th, and it's a right-footed outswinger. The last one was pumped onto the bar from the head of Ivan Toney. Eriksen raises both arms, plays it short to Mbeumo. Back to Eriksen, who sends it in towards the near post, headed away by Sessegnon. Henry puts it back into the mix. Oh, 2 Spurs players jump for it. It comes off the side of Romero's head and is cleared as far as Toney. He's dispossessed by Kane, won back by Janssen, and Tottenham continue to be jammed up inside their own half of the field. It's Mads Roslev on the right-hand side for the Bees. Back to Janssen. Sorensen has it on that far side. It's still 0-0 at the BCS. But Ivan Toney struck the woodwork. Brian Mbeumo's had an effort deflected wide. Spurs haven't really created anything, and I'll mention this now. They didn't have any shots on target last Saturday lunchtime against Brighton. Davies heads this away. We'll update the situation on FM. Brentford 0, Tottenham 0. Brentford have hit the crossbar. Ivan Toney with a thumping header from a Christian Eriksen corner that came back off the woodwork. Brian Mbeumo's had a shot deflected just wide as well. Spurs did have a little spell of pressure a bit earlier in the half, but couldn't really create anything from it. And Brentford, who started very strongly, then had to defend deep for 5-10 minutes or so, and now back on the front foot. Brentford 0, Tottenham 0. Oh, Romero puts that up in the air, nodded forward by Janssen. Dispossessed by Dyer. It's going to be a throw-in on that far side of the field to Brentford, quickly taken, and Henry brings it down. He's got 2 defenders on him. They've won another corner.
Yeah. It's just Brentford's speed of play, speed of thought, urgency, intensity, urgency. You know, they're the words that epitomise their performance so far. You just sense amongst the home crowd, Nick, there's such confidence. There's real belief here that they're going to, you know, give Tottenham Hotspur more than the game tonight.
Yeah, there's real energy from the crowd when Brentford come forward. They know that they can hurt Spurs. And here's corner number 6. Eriksen towards the far post. Toney again on the volley. Again it strikes Romero and goes behind. They keep forgetting to mark Ivan Toney.
Well, I'm not sure, because there are some players zonal across the 6-yard line for Tottenham Hotspur, but it's the second time Ivan Toney has just spun out unopposed. Eriksen's dropped the ball to the back post. He's had a volleyed attempt at goal. If anything, he's caught 2 volleys too well. They've flashed back across some wide of the goal off of deflections. If he'd have scuffed them a little bit, it probably ended up 1 or 2 of them in the back of the net.
This is another corner for Brentford, their second in quick succession, their 7th of the game. Swung in towards the near post, headed away by Kane. Comes out to Janssen on the far side for the Bees. Back to Raya, who's patrolling the edge of the centre circle. He's going to clip this forward. The target here is Mbeumo. It's headed away by Højbjerg. Kulusevski collects. He's being hassled and harried by Janssen. He's had to roll that back into the feet of Eric Dyer, and he's going to bring this one forward. We're halfway through the first half. It's Brentford 0, Tottenham 0. But Ivan Toney's hit the woodwork and had 2 free volleys at goal. Here's Kane, caught by Roslev. Free kick to Tottenham, 15 yards inside the Brentford half of the field. It's taken short. Kane turns and rolls it out wide to Davies on that left-hand side. He's got Højbjerg alongside him now. Bentancur, Kulusevski, Romero on that right side. Spurs fans starting to make a little bit of noise. They'll be pleased to see the ball's high up the pitch and away from Hugo Lloris's goal. It's with Højbjerg and Sessegnon down the left. Wants to run at Godos, goes on the outside of him and wins another corner. This is Tottenham's 3rd of the game. We've had 10 corners in 23 minutes, Bradley.
Yeah, I think both these sides are sort of recognising when they play on the outside of their opponent and get themselves into crossing positions, there's potentially then, if the delivery comes, a chance to maybe get a clear opening.
Corner played short. Sessegnon gets it back to Son, who's been held up by 2 Brentford defenders on the edge of the box. Sessegnon's going to try his luck. Oh, and he's given it straight to Brian Mbeumo, who looked to break forward, then gets held up. Ivan Toney's back doing some defensive work. He sent it all the way back to his goalkeeper, Raya, who clears downfield. It's going to be collected by Godos, is it? No, Spurs have retained possession on the halfway line. And Rodrigo Bentancur, who blocked one of those Toney efforts towards goal at one end of the field, is trying to get forward, cause problems at the other. Dyer by the centre spot, really, just waiting to see what the purple shirts in front of him can do. Going to clip it wide to Sessegnon, tries to get beyond Godos. That's picked up pace off the surface as it bounces, and it's gone out for a goal kick, which Loris is going to take. Well, it's been lively, but we actually still haven't seen a great deal from Spurs going forward.
No, not just yet. You know, when you play this 3-4-3 formation, your wing backs are often instrumental, and not only, you know, getting back and doing diligent defending, Nick, but getting forward and almost becoming wingers. We know from his Fulham days that's, in my opinion, Sessegnon's better position, more advanced. Royale on that right hand side, but Spurs just haven't had enough of the ball to push them into more advanced, more favourable positions at this moment in time.
Kulusevski's barely touched it as well on that far side of the field, the right, as Tottenham come forward. Here's Romero on the halfway line into Kulusevski. It's quick feet by Eriksson to win it back, and then Romero and Emerson are back doing some defensive work, and they are using Eric Dyer back to Loris, who seems to have recovered from having Pontus Jansson landing on top of him. Can't blame him for taking a few moments. Davies forward, here's Son, and then Davies has burst beyond Son, but it's cleared by Sorensen over the top, and there's opportunity here for Toney to make some inroads. He's going to skip into the box, rolls the ball into the 18-yard box, cleared by Højbjerg. He says it came off a Brentford player last, but it's another corner to the Bees down their right-hand side. Christian Eriksen on duty once more.
Well, almost Davies to Son, and the Welsh defender stepped forward and broke in a counter-attack position for Spurs, crossing the halfway line, but Brentford won the ball. It went back down Brentford's right-hand side. Ivan Toney was definitely onside, and off his touch he crossed the ball near post. Højbjerg recovered and cleared away for Tottenham.
Now, the last couple of corners that Eriksen sent in have caused problems, and they've not been marking Ivan Toney, who's loitering on the edge of the box once again. This comes in looking for Jansson, flicked away by Sessegnon, collected by Kulusevski on the edge of his own box. He's gone down looking for a free kick there from Matthias Jensen's challenge, and it is a free kick. Some of the Brentford fans a little
I think that's good pressing from Jensen, and he was running out of space on that far side with his back to goal. He got bumped. He possibly miscontrolled the ball a little bit as well, Nick, and it ran away from him, and it was probably going to go out and should have been a Brentford throw-in.
Here's Højbjerg inside his own half of the field for Tottenham on what is this really beautiful evening now in West London. It had clouded over a little bit after a good start to the day, but it really are wonderful conditions for football. Everyone here enjoying themselves as Spurs come forward, cut out by Jansson, cleared for a throw-in right in front of Thomas Frank, the Brentford manager. We're going to update the situation on FM just as the Saturday Sports Show is reaching its conclusion on those frequencies. Here on digital radio, we're following this game through to a conclusion. 0-0 at the moment. Here's Højbjerg. He's going to clip this one down the channel. Emerson the target, gets something on it, goes down. Kulusevski just fishes the ball away from him. Here's a bit of space for Son, running at the edge of the box, drives at Roerslev. It's still 0-0, Tottenham on the attack with Sessegnon's cross that's charged down. It's been all Brentford in the last 5-10 minutes or so, after Spurs had that little spell earlier, and now Bentancur has had a go from 25 yards, and you can hear from the Brentford fans, it has not troubled David Raya's goal. Toney off the crossbar, the closest Brentford have come. Spurs still haven't really fashioned anything. 0-0 at the BCS. Well, that was a disappointment. If we wanted
to get really from Bentancur, you know, right to left-hand side, back into centre field, across his body, just off balance, sliced across the shot, well wide of the Brentford goal.
Cleared by Raya over the halfway line. The target here is Ivan Toney. He's got something on it. Can he find Mbeumo? No is the answer. It's clipped towards halfway by Sessegnon. Roerslev runs this out to the flank. and sends it down the channel. The target here is Mbeumo. It hits Mbeumo in the face and Davies in the face, goes out for a throw, and Mbeumo's gone down clutching his face.
Yeah, he's just taking his time. I think he'd be okay. Davies got to the ball first. It was played forward. He inadvertently headed it, and it struck Mbeumo, couldn't get out the way. It's hit the side of his head. He's being picked up. That's a generous official. The assistant, very kind.
Just checking everybody's okay.
This is good deed for the day, Nick, isn't it?
He's made sure everyone's got up in our ship-shape and Bristol fashion. Nearly half an hour gone. Spurs clip this forward, only as far as Eriksen. If he'd have brought that down, he could have made his way towards goal there, Christian Eriksen, against his former club, but it's cleared away as far as Tony, and then Eriksen clips it forward, and Mbeumo tries to run round Davies, but I think Ben Davies had that situation under control. It's back to Lloris, who clears quickly downfield. Kane the target, brilliantly cut out by Pontus Jansson, who's hurt himself in the process, and he's gone down and stayed down. Brentford are not sure what to do. It's not very often you see Pontus Jansson lying on the ground.
Yeah, from the Hugo Lloris kick out and distribution, Harry Kane was ready for the long ball. He almost turned into the defender, and I think the big 6-footer just got bumped. There was a contact maybe in his hip. A bit of a dead leg, that one.
Yeah, but you can see
but he's okay.
I think he's going to run it off. You could see the Brentford players thinking, wow, if he's hurt, what do we do? Not often they're presented with that situation where their captain and talisman is down injured.
Match winner recently, wasn't he, with the late goal at Watford? Fine season that he's had.
I think he's going to be okay.
At the heart of the Brentford defence.
You could just tell he was desperate to get up, but his leg was not allowing that to happen. Given back to Brentford from the throw-in, and Raya has it away to our left-hand side. You're listening to BBC Radio London. We've got 15 minutes of the first half to go. Up goes Davies with Højbjerg. It's going to drop to Eriksen, who's dispossessed by Kulusevski. This is going to be collected by Benq on the far side of the field. Spurs trying to get their way forward, but once again, Bradley, we're not jotting down chance after chance after chance. As awful as the Benq effort was, that was their first shot.
Yeah, and I think we've just sort of seen that a little bit, Nick, in Tottenham's more recent performances. Just the build-up a little bit too slow. You know, you look at the Everton game, the Aston Villa game, you know, they were scintillating at times.
Yeah,
the speed of the play and through the lines of the opponents, running off of players, and they just lack that connection.
His son for Spurs down the left. Sosa, I've actually put some sunglasses on. That's what we've been confronted with here at the BCS this afternoon. Højbjerg into Son, edge of the penalty area. He's got a whole load of red and white shirts in front of him. Run clear to Tony, and then Eriksen has hooked that away from danger, only as far as Ben Davies. Brings it down well, uses Dyer, Benq, Son wriggles away from Janelt and advances towards the edge of the penalty area. He's done well there. Eriksen's cross goes over everybody and out for a goal kick. There's a claim from Son that he was fouled on the edge of the box.
Might have been a bit of contact. Difficult one for the referee, that. Martin Atkinson, he's probably playing the advantage because the ball then trickled out to Sessegnon. Couldn't get out of the way, really got us, but I think it is probably letter of law, a free kick. It's a bit of a body check, isn't it? He got in the way.
He was in a good position, Martin Atkinson. Didn't feel the need to
but
show.
Not many Tottenham players actually asked the ref,
no,
you know, there, and Sessegnon's resulting cross went out for a goal kick.
Cleared by Raya, flicked on by Jensen before Mbeumo can get there. Benq extends a leg. It's going to fall to Janelt though on the halfway line. Heung-min Son couldn't bring that under control. Comes back to Sorensen. And Brentford with the majority of the possession so far in this half, I would have said. Spurs not functioning up front again. And don't forget, they came into the Brighton game having scored hatfuls of goals against Aston Villa, 4, 5 against Newcastle, 3 against West Ham. Here's Eriksen over the halfway line for the Bees, who we should mention are banging form, 5 wins from 6. And Christian Eriksen has started 5 games for Brentford, and they've won every single one of them.
Yeah, no coincidence there. You know, what a brilliant signing he's been, and just wonderful that his return to football and back to his quite brilliant best in a Brentford shirt. Who'd have thought it, Nick?
Well, it's a wonderful story, isn't it, really? Jensen has it on the right. Janelt controls it on the halfway line. Eriksson again.
We do like it, Nick, us romantics, don't we? It's good for the game.
Lovely dink ball by Eriksson, finds Mbeumo, who's just had it taken away from him by Sessegnon. Pinpoint accuracy from Eriksson to find Mbeumo in that position, but Eriksson was alert to the danger, cleared away for a throw.
Yeah, Ivan Toney's just stretching off. You thought for 1 minute there, the little darting run between the defenders from Mbeumo was going to get him in on goal. Credit to Sessegnon, actually. He actually didn't foul Mbeumo as well. He got his body in the way and he's managed to hook clear. But you said about throw-ins and corners, and here is one from this near right-hand side that's going to go right into the Tottenham 6-yard box.
The Sorensen supernova is going to come in with interest. Here it goes, right into the edge of the 6-yard box, flicked away as far as Janelt into the mix. Davies jumping and clears. Janssen tries to knock it back into the danger zone, comes back out to Sorensen, leaves it for Jensen, whose cross is deflected, flicked on by Janssen, tries to pick out Godos on that side, hacked away by Spurs to halfway, where Rico Henry has sent it back to Raya. And here's Christian Eriksen again, just inside his own half of the field for Brentford. Exchanges passes with Janelt. 305 appearances for Spurs for Christian Eriksen, 69 goals in 7 years, and he's still missed in that part of North London, I think it's fair to say. Comes back to Sorensen, helped on by Godos, tries to pick out Henry on that side, back to Sorensen, Godos and Sorensen again on that flank, runs into Emerson, but Brentford still have possession. They've hung on to it very well, collected by Eriksen inside the centre circle. He's going to shovel that forward, really. It's overhit and it goes out for a goal kick, which Hugo Lloris is going to take. 35 minutes gone, 0-0, and the number of minutes of football now that Spurs have spent on the field of play without creating a shot on target is extensive, and the referee is now spotted. I think the ball might have been moving when Lloris took the goal kick, so it has to be reset. But yeah, this is going to cause Antonio Conte some headaches. Yeah, whether it will be, changing some players from the bench. He doesn't tend to change this 3-4-3 formation, Nick. But the starting point from Tottenham is deep, Nick, isn't it? And it's struggling. They're almost, is it part of the plan? I'm not sure. Just wait, catch Brentford out if they do choose at some stage to commit even more players forward, and Spurs have one of those successful counter-attacks, because as an attacking force, they've not offered too much so far. Raya clears towards Godos on the touchline, flicks it on, out of play, into the arms of Antonio Conte, who barks at, well, I think Ryan Sessegnon. While he was barking at Sessegnon, he threw the ball away. That's what the home fans are a bit disappointed about. Raya has it on the edge of his own penalty area. We've got 8 minutes to go to half-time. Brentford with the best chances in this first 45 minutes so far. This comes back to the Brentford goalkeeper, who was missing for a really crucial period of the season, from the end of October to the beginning of February. And he's back now. And he's taken a couple of touches there and had to drill it away from Kane, but he's found Janelt. Oh, and he's given it to Son. He brings it down, the ball flew up in the air off Son. He had to take a few moments to control it. Fed in for Kane, given to Bentancur, who offloads to Romero on the right. Flick forward for Kulusevski. He's got Emerson in front of him. Kulusevski has to check back to Romero on that right side. It's going to go back to Dyer on the halfway line. And here's Davies and Sessegnon. Little help on by Son for Davies, who's got forward again. Röslev back to Raya, who has to volley that away. Gets good distance on it. Helped on by Godos. And then out of play for a Spurs throw, which Højbjerg will fetch from the little gully underneath where the cameras are positioned, just on the touchline. Yeah, there's been a couple of times actually that Davies, to be fair, has tried to support and run off of a little layoff and break the line.
they might keep trying to probe and use that from just that left-sided defensive position.
Ball forward for Son, edge of the box. Roslev with him, laid off for Kane. A little dink ball by Kane. Not quite sure what that was supposed to be, but it was a dink ball that was easily into the arms of David Raya.
The layoff from Son was a bit heavy, and Harry Kane quite simply got caught in two schools of thought there. He wasn't sure to play the ball through or have a shot, and he stubbed it, and it just easily went through to David Raya.
Cleared downfield over the head of Tony, but Mbeumo's picked up the loose ball. Here's Eriksson down that left-hand side, Romero with him, guided back to Sorensen. Here's Janelt just outside the centre circle. Goes back to Sorensen on that left-hand side. And again, Brentford in possession and kind of comfortable with it as well. Bradley, that's the other thing. They've looked really assured, haven't they?
Most definitely, yeah. We spoke about the confidence, and you've clearly seen that in spells tonight.
Just uttered those words, and Brentford have given it away. Here's Romero and Emerson on that far side of the field. Spurs, though, in no great hurry. They go backwards. It's all a bit ponderous, isn't it, really? That seems to be the issue for Tottenham. When Brentford have moved the ball, you mentioned it in the opening minutes, they moved it so incisively. Spurs, it's all just a bit harder work, although Kulusevski just tries to feed the ball forward for Højbjerg, but Brentford have won it back and they're coming forward. Tony's little back heel. Godos stumbles but leaves it for Eriksson. Wide to Tony again on that right-hand side. Just Mbeumo in the penalty area. Sessegnon has won the ball and then challenged Tony. The two of them have tangled. No free kick, says the referee. Kane on halfway. And one back by Godos. Here come Brentford again. 5 minutes of the first half to go.
No, it wasn't a foul on Ivan Toney. Good defending from Sessegnon. But what they've done very well centrally again, they've stopped Harry Kane.
Oh, Tony's cross is over.
Linking the play and setting a Tottenham attack in motion. Janelt's been disciplined. Jensen's helped that. They've narrowed up. They've been very compact centrally. The Spurs just haven't been able to find any way through, really, to get themselves in more promising final third positions.
Lloris's goal kick. We've been mentioning that Brentford have had this brilliant run over the course of the last few weeks. It's lifted them to 12th, 39 points. Victories against Watford and West Ham and Chelsea and Burnley and Norwich. The run has come together at an incredibly good time for the Bees. I think it's fair to say there was some concern the way things were going.
I think, that's such a good point that you're making, but the management of Thomas Frank within that period, he deserves enormous credit.
Kulusevski has spread the play, but there's nobody there in a purple shirt for Spurs, and it goes out for a throw-in. Yes, he was often the calmest person in the ground, wasn't he? That players must really like that.
The spirit didn't go, the ethic within the group of players. They knew quite simply the task, the challenge this season was just to try and stay in the Premier League, and they never lost sight of that aim, did they, Nick?
No, the focus was always there, really. Emerson's shifting this away from Henry. Henry has challenged Emerson rather, and the referee, has he actually stopped the game?
Yeah, he's given Spurs a free kick. There's not much in that. Henry's going back, he's bumped him, there's a bit of contact, possibly a free kick. Maybe Royale went down a little bit too easy there under that challenge.
Still 0-0. 3 minutes of the first half to go. It's guided back for Eric Dyer inside the centre circle and swung wide to the left. And Davies, who now sends it more central. Bentancur clips it towards Emerson on the edge of the box, nods it down. Kulusevski tries to get hold of it, but a brave header by Sorensen, sent back towards goal, cleared by Jensen, flicked away by Eriksson for Brentford, and then is that a foul by Højbjerg on Mbeumo as he tried to clear the danger. Martin Atkinson says Brentford free kick.
Run for the team a little bit there, Højbjerg. But again, a Brentford player, Nick, quicker to the ball, and that sort of epitomised the first half. Although Brentford, for their bright play, have got nothing to show in terms of scoreline and goal so far as we approach the half-time whistle. Thomas Frank would be delighted because they have been the better side. They are in control of this game, and they look the more likely on current performance of getting the all-important breakthrough.
Well, only Chelsea have won more points in Premier League London derbies this season. They've got 14 points from their games against London sides, Brentford, which has proved incredibly useful. Cleared by Sessegnon for Spurs. We're going to get another Sorensen throw, I think, or is it going to be left to Jensen on this near side? No, Sorensen's on his way. Stand by, everybody. This goes very long and very high.
Yeah, just dusting the football down.
Giving it a little polish. Watch it bizz through the air. Thought for a second Jensen was going to take it, but no. He's going to lean back against the advertising hoardings and get ready to hurl this into the 18-yard box. In it comes, headed away by Dyer. Comes out to Sorensen, who sends that back into the 6-yard box and claimed by Loris. Well, under pressure, wants to clear quickly, does clear quickly over the halfway line. But it's nowhere near Kulusevski, to be fair. Mads Roerslev.
Yeah, I'm not sure he knew much about that. He went across and he covered on Kulusevski, and it sort of landed on the top of his head and conveniently went back to the Brentford goalkeeper.
We're going to have 1 minute at the end of this first half. It's 0-0. Here's Ivan Toney, who's come closest to breaking the deadlock. Lovely threaded pass by Jensen, trying to release Godos, but Dyer saw the danger, cleared it away, but Brentford continued to ask the questions.
Yeah, and encouraged by their manager, he's pushing them forward. He will clearly feel, on balance of play, they deserve themselves a goal, because they've been really good, Brentford, in this first half. Very positive.
A towel magically appears for Sorensen's throw, which is played short to Eriksson, who clips this in left-footed towards the far post. It's going to drop to Henry. Now Janholt, edge of the box, forced wide. Little cross comes in, headed away by Dyer. Controlled by Godos. Was that a hand? No, the referee's allowed it to continue. Godos, edge of the box. He shoots, blocked by Bentancur. Comes out to Roerslev. Last man back is Henry. Spurs desperate to push up, and that's half-time. And Spurs, in their pursuit of fourth place, have run into a Brentford team seemingly with nothing to lose, everything to gain, and confidence free-flowing. Once again, Spurs have come off the field after 45 minutes of football, having created no chances on target. That Bentancur effort from range, the closest anybody came. Brentford, meanwhile, have had a couple of good chances. Ivan Toney's headers came back off the bar. Brian Mbeumo's shot has been deflected wide by a Spurs defender, and Toney's also had an effort, a volley from an angle, deflected behind as well. Arsenal managed to beat Manchester United early in the day to seize the advantage in the battle for fourth spot. Tottenham at the moment haven't really got started in their late appointment with Brentford. The Bees, meanwhile, on this tremendous run, even though they're pretty much safe, well, they're continuing with their tails up. No breakthrough at the break, though. Brentford 0, Tottenham 0.
BBC Radio London.
The home of London football.
Brentford first. I mean, as you said, you know, they can relax. They've secured Premier League status. They've got their own aim internally to try and finish. They've never finished lower than 11th, I don't think, in any league they've been in since Matthew Benham has taken charge. Top half every time. Top half this time might be tough, but they're targeting to finish as high as they possibly can. And despite the changes, they're going about it in a good way again.
Yeah, and that can be a game changer for a club of Brentford's size back at this level. Obviously the riches fill the rewards per place. I think it's a couple of few million quid.
Yeah,
absolutely. So you know, the encouragement from the fans, you can see that tonight. It's a beautiful evening for football. From the manager, you know, he's really positive on the touchline, and Brentford have been excellent, and they deserve to be in front. You know, they've been the better of the two sides. Spurs have been disappointing. They've offered very little in an attacking force. Is this going to be either or for Spurs, Phil? Is it going to be one of their key players just coming up with a moment of brilliance and a mistake from Brentford, or will it be a formation or a personnel change for Antonio Conte? A big half-time team talk for him. But on balance of play, if Tottenham are not careful, they're going to fall behind in this game early in the second half.
And it's 3 halves of football now without getting a shot on target. And there was a little spell, wasn't there, earlier in the season where this happened with Spurs, where they just didn't really create much and didn't sort of test goalkeepers. Didn't get a single shot on target against Brighton last week. Haven't got one in the first half today. What do they need to do to change that stat?
Well, I think what in parts of this game it's shown from a deeper position when Spurs have, and they had, Phil, in this first half, defended more so. When they're broke, at times when they've been brilliant at that this season, they've caught teams out. But the concentration, Brentford themselves have conceded 1 or 2 goals from their own corners, haven't they, here at the Brentford Community Stadium? But they have not allowed Tottenham to get out of their half comfortably upon transition. And as well, when Brentford have defended deeply, Spurs have lacked idea, not enough craft or guile, not enough cleverness in and around the penalty box to, as Nick Dolvin described, to create a chance or a real clear shot on goal. Spurs have been a bit lacklustre, to say the least.
Second half upcoming on BBC Radio London DAB this evening. Gary Crowley on 94.9 FM. Let's have a look back at some of the stories from earlier. Our first commentary game this afternoon came from St Andrews, a 2-2 draw for Millwall against Birmingham City, twice behind Millwall, getting themselves equalised. The second one late on, Benq from the penalty spot to make it 2-2, and to keep the Lions just 3 points off the playoff places with 2 games to play. Gary Rowett, the Millwall manager, was pleased that his striker had nerves of steel when he had to take the penalty.
Yes, I mean, it's incredible composure from Benq at that stage of the season to step up and to take a penalty in that way. He practices all the time in training, and he almost waits for the keeper to move, which I think is quite a nerve-wracking one to watch. But he took it, great composure. Did we deserve a point? I think we kept fighting. We made a lot of changes to our formation, to our personnel, to try and get something out of the game. We threw a lot of caution to the wind because we knew the other results. But we made a lot of basic errors today, and I think the basic errors kept putting us a goal behind. You saw that with the first goal was a terrible way to concede a goal. We got in a real mix-up at the back, and almost a minute into the second half you can't do that at this stage of the season. If you want to get in the top 6, you have to deal with those moments better. Score a very good goal ourselves. I thought Mason Bennett made a big difference when he came on. Good ball in. Danny McNamara, a good position on the back post, and Berkey side foots in. So to get back to 1-1, and I thought we looked like the team in the ascendancy. Then we concede a soft penalty. I'll be honest, I think it's pulling, shoving in the box all afternoon. I don't think either penalty are actual penalties.
And the free kick before the penalty as well. There wasn't much in that.
I don't think there's much in it, but it's a difficult one for the referee. But I think if you're going to give the first one, I think then you have to give moments like the last one. But at that stage of a game, you think the game's gone. So it gave us a bit of a lifeline, and thankfully we took a point. Our fans travelled in huge numbers, in great voice, and it's nice to at least them to see the team fighting and keeping it exciting for next week.
And other teams have fallen out of the race today for the top 6. You're still in there. There's only a few of you can actually get it now.
Yeah, look, we're giving it everything we've got. It's exciting. I'm proud of the players. In moments like this at the end of the season, you just got to show a little bit more composure, and we've got to play a little bit better than that. And like I said, do the basics a lot better. And we didn't do that today, but you can understand it. The nerves at this stage of the season, everything's a bit frantic. And I was disappointed in some ways, but proud of the efforts, and really pleased to get a point. And like you say, we've got Peterborough at home next week, and it's up to us to go and take care of business. And if we don't deserve to get anywhere near it. If we do, we're going to the last game probably, although I think Sheffield United play on Friday, so it'd be interesting to see, but still be 6 points. It'd be up to us to see if we can win and keep it alive.
And
well, what isn't alive very much, just there is a very faint sort of pulse for Wimbledon's survival hopes in League One. But yet again, I think for the 12th time in this run of 26 games where they haven't won, they've gone ahead and they've thrown away points. They've done it, they threw away all the points against Crewe, got the win. They threw away 2 points against Wickham last Monday, they threw away 2 more points again today. You look at that, that's the difference, isn't it? 1-1 at Fleetwood, and Mark Taylor caught up with Mark Bowen, the interim manager at AFC Wimbledon, after the game.
Mark, just sum up how you feel after that terrible loss of a goal late on, just when it looked as though Wimbledon were going to do it.
It's hard to put into words. It's really hard to put into words. I think things have conspired against the players in the team yet again. We had a game last Monday where we were winning with, same time to go, 8 minutes to go. Our captain goes down injured. The referee doesn't stop the game, tells me it's because it's not a head injury. And I see injuries every single week in Champions League and Premier League that things are stopped for. We come today where he gave a free kick against our goalkeeper because he said he touched it twice after blowing, because he says, in brackets, it's the law. And I asked him, I said, well, why do you think our keeper would touch the ball twice? Because he didn't hear the first whistle. So, there's a reason he's touched the ball twice, is because he didn't know it was a free kick, didn't hear the whistle from the referee. So he's got to make himself clearer. But he just stands and says, well, Cesar in the stand, it's the letter of the law, and ultimately people could possibly lose their livelihoods at the club and the club get relegated. We've been, never mind what's happened in the past, the club have, in a lot of ways, they've created a lot of their own problems in terms of having won, and everybody throws at them. The team haven't won for X amount of games, 20 odd games, but since I've walked in the door, we've had now 6 games. I think we've drawn 4 of them. We've been in front a lot of times. We've had poor refereeing decisions at times. Everybody says the same thing when they're down there. I understand that. I've been in the game long enough. But it's hard to take on the back of that today because we're 1-0 up. I wasn't even looking at the clock in as much as, we were comfortable. They had a shot at goal. And to concede a goal that gets you relegated on a decision like that, quite frankly, I'm just, I don't know how to put it into words. I'm stunned.
It's not mathematically certain yet, but because of a massive goal difference swing that you would need, it effectively is. Your players gave you everything today, I thought. Yeah,
they've done it since they come in the door. Yeah, at times we've got a very young squad, and at times they're a bit naive, they make bad decisions, and possibly today, if I had any criticism, it was I didn't think we passed the ball like we can, to be in control of our own destiny, if you like, to retain possession better than we could, but that's acceptable because it's such a nervy and it's an edgy game, They knew the importance of the game, but they've done everything right, and the way I look at it, it's been stolen away from us.
Luke McCormick had given you the lead with a wonderful goal. Yeah. He's a real talent.
Yeah, he is. Great. When he dropped him on the edge of the box, just passed back to him before he'd even struck it. I fancied it to be a goal because he's got a good talent for doing that. He can finish well, and again, probably if there's any criticism, that was the first time in the game that we'd actually strung a few passes together. We settled in early, we were a bit scrappy in possession, give it away, and then the first time we got it down and played, we've cut through them and scored a great goal.
So what now? Are you hoping that Sheffield Wednesday come to Fleetwood on Tuesday and win by about 5 goals?
Well, yeah. I mean, you're always hopeful, but you don't expect too much, but you're hopeful. That's all you can do. And I truly believe if we'd got the result today, we'd have had the momentum going into next Saturday's games. The other results went for us as well. But it's a really. I mean, I've been in this game now for 40 years, and that's a very, very hard pill to swallow today.
And the dressing room will be very, very flat and very down, I would have thought. Yeah,
I've been in there. What can you say? They don't want to hear me going on spouting the old cliches. I just said, at this time, you leave them with their own thoughts. It's very difficult. Very obviously, a lot of people hurting in there. But I said last week that if we don't get the result that Sheffield Wednesday produce on Wednesday, and worst comes to worst, this club, it'll bounce back. Because they've got good people behind the club, and they've got a plan the way they want to go forward, and so it'll bounce back, no problem.
Yeah, bad day for Wimbledon. Mathematically, as they were saying, Fleetwood have got a game in hand. If they were to lose that heavily, it's Sheffield Wednesday, isn't it, midweek? If they were to lose that heavily, then suddenly the goal difference, starts to look positive. if you see what I mean, as far as Wimbledon are concerned. But it's still, ifs and buts and maybes, really. The goal difference currently, Fleetwood on 40 points, Wimbledon on 37, Gillingham are on 40 as well, so they themselves can get out of it, but they were beaten today by Portsmouth. It's a 8-goal swing that has to happen. Fleetwood have got Sheffield Wednesday at home and then Bolton Wanderers away. So not easy games, but an 8-goal swing. They'd probably have to lose by 3 goals in each of those games, and Wimbledon beat Accrington by 2 goals, 2 clear goals as well, for that to be swung around. So, and that's notwithstanding the fact that Gillingham also are involved in that and can get themselves out of it. So it's also Gillingham slipping up that Wimbledon would want next week, and Gillingham's final game of the season is a home game, but it is against Rotherham United, who themselves are a side who will need points, although they've got a couple of games, but they may well need points in order to make sure that they are secure, or if they win the game in hand midweek over that they have over Milton Keynes with their goal difference, it will probably be done as far as Paul Warne's side. Disappointment, although a slightly better position for Matt Gray and Sutton United. Lost at Barrow today. Barrow stays safe. Oldham have gone down. There's a story in the telling as well with the whole situation, the ownership at Oldham. But for Sutton United, an incident in the stands and disappointment on the pitch for Matt Gray.
Yeah, eventful. Really difficult conditions here. First half we're playing with the wind, very, very strong wind here. Obviously it's going to affect the game extremely, as it did. Second half, nothing in the game. We had one moment in the first half with Omar getting through from a goal kick. They had one moment in the second half, Kay getting through from a goal kick. Not a lot of chances for anyone until they score out of nothing, and then one moment, if you like, but then the penalty, and then unfortunately it's the first time we missed a penalty in open play for I don't know how long, and if that goes in, I'm sure it'll be a different game, but unfortunately that they took their moment and we didn't take ours.
Reflect on just the performance from us into perspective. They played very well today in aspect Sutton, but Barrow made it very difficult even when they did go down to 10 men. How happy were you with the lads out there today?
I'm always happy with their endeavour, their work rate, their attitude. It was always going to be difficult to try and any real spectacle in the game today, just because of the sheer fact of how strong the wind was. They've certainly turned around under Phil Brown. They've got some good players. They're playing a very effective way, and they've turned it around and got some results.
BBC Radio London,
the home of London football.
Also an allegation of racial abuse made against someone from the stands, we believe, at that game as well. The police are dealing with the matter. Let's go back to the Brentford Community Stadium, second half on DAB Digital Radio. It's Brentford 0, Tottenham Hotspur 0. Just about to get off and underway for the second half in the sunshine in West London. I'll be cycling past the ground in about an hour and a half's time. What will the mood be like? We'll find out. Bradley Allen and Nick Godwin.
Thank you, Phil. Yes, second half about to be underway. Christian Eriksen is standing over the football, and we are back underway here. And I was just working this out. Spurs have basically underperformed in 4 out of the last 5 halves of football they've played. If you look at the half we've just seen, the 2 against Brighton, then the first half against Aston Villa, they should have been 2 or 3 goals behind, but for Hugo Lloris. So I think it's fair to say the form has dropped significantly. They really need to turn this around, and Lloris almost gets closed down by Mbuemo, and he's clipped the ball away. I mean, it's a fraction of a second away from being a nightmare for Hugo Lloris. It's gone out of play for a Brentford throw on this near side of the field. Those Spurs fans looking a little bit queasy at the start of this second half. Brentford again starting positively. They are more or less safe, but they are conducting themselves with spirit and guile so far, and is causing Tottenham problems. Here's a throw from Sorensen, gets it back from Tony, lifts it out of play. Let's do the lineups for you before we get Bradley Allen's assessment of how the second half could go. David Raya in goal for Brentford, back 4 of Mads, Rørslev, Madsbæk, Sorensen, Pontus Jansson and Rico Henry. In midfield, Matthias Jensen, Vitali Janelt and Christian Eriksen, with Brian Mbuemo, Saman Ghoddos and Ivan Toney up front. Hugo Lloris in goal for Spurs, back 3 of Christian Romero, Eric Dyer, and Ben Davies. In midfield, Emerson Royale, Rodrigo Benton, Kerr, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg and Ryan Sessegnon. Here comes Spurs. Kulusevski can't get hold of this inside the Brentford box. Bit of a scramble. Emerson nods it forward. Kulusevski sets it for Højbjerg, who just lifts that over the goal frame. That was not the cross he wanted. The rest of the lineup, Dejan Kulusevski and Heung-min Son, with Harry Kane up front. On the bench for Brentford, Jonas Lörsel, Josh De Silva, Johan Wieser, Julien Jambier, Tariq Fosu-Henry, Miles Peart-Harris, Shandon Baptiste, Finlay Stevens and Nathan J. Young-Coombs. And for Spurs, Pierluigi Golini, Sergio Reguilon, Davinson Sanchez, Harry Winks, Joe Rodon, Stephen Bergwijn, Lucas Moura, Harvey White and Dane Scarlett. Big half of football coming up, Bradley Allen, for Tottenham Hotspur.
Nick, you know, Tottenham must improve. A bit better down the left-hand side there, and you thought with some speed being shown typically from Son, and it comes to Højbjerg, he was just going to tease the cross in, and Spurs had players up in attack, but he put the ball up and over the crossbar, and a bit wasteful from the Dane. But they've got to improve in this second half, and I'm sure he would have put some words into the ears of the Tottenham players, Antonio Conte, at half-time.
As you would have thought, they've been reminded of what's at stake. His Son feeds Kulusevski down the right, no one in the box for him to aim at yet. Little jinking run, Emerson can't control it, and then the flag goes up.
Yeah, Kulusevski was offside from Son's through pass down this right-hand side. But they're trying to move the ball a little bit quicker and actually run off their opponents and try and get behind and stretch this Brentford defence. Crowd back, sort of most of them taking the seats, but it certainly was a bright display, wasn't it, by the home side in the first half.
Yeah, they hit the bar, a couple of shots deflected, that's given away by Romero. Here's Mbuemo's cross is blocked, swept away by Højbjerg. Kulusevski will lead this and it'll be brought forward by Romero, and he's going to try and release Son down the left. Röslev's done well against the South Korean to hold him off and then clear the danger. And now here comes Tony, and there's a collision with Lloris, and he's managed to bundle that out of play.
Well, Romero's down as well. No flag. It's a great ball over the top. Brilliant defended from Röslev initially, and the ball was swept forward down Brighton's right-hand side. He comes herring out of his goal, Hugo Lloris.
Like the clappers.
There was contact, no foul given. Brentford in possession.
Trouble is, when you are a goalkeeper and obviously you want to accelerate, if you then have to stop, it's very difficult.
But he was last man now, and if he'd have got the faintest of touches, Ivan Toney, and nudged it beyond the goalkeeper, Hugo Lloris, the speed that he was moving, he would just whack Tony out, and that would have been potentially a yellow, maybe a red card.
Well, there'd have been decisions for Martin Atkinson to make there, no question. We've played for 4.5 second half minutes. Kane turns this forward, Kulusevski on his own, does really well to hold it up, and then Janssen just tramples across and takes it off him. Well, Kulusevski had done quite well initially, and the Brentford captain just steams in. Bit of space here for Janelt. Jensen on halfway, launches it long, Tony's peeled away from his man. He controls it on the edge of the box, gets some help from Rico Henry. Tony again, drives forward, falls to Henry, across the 6-yard box and over the top by Mbuemo.
That's a half chance. Good cross from Rico Henry, flat across the front of the Spurs defence. Another excellent break as the pitch opened up for Brentford. And he was just leaning back, just on the stretch, wasn't he, Nick? Mbuemo up and over the crossbar with his effort.
Eric Dyer has cleared the danger here for Spurs. That's another half chance. And once again, Spurs give it away very easily. Sessegnon this time, and Mbuemo rolls it forward but can't release Tony. It's cut out by Romero. Those Spurs fans over that corner flag looking increasingly concerned. Son is fouled by Jensen, free kick Tottenham.
Yeah, I think it was a foul on Davis out on that left-hand side. He played advantage, Martin Atkinson, but the ball went to Brentford. Probably should have been a Spurs free kick, but there is one there on the halfway line, and Brentford have retreated.
The last Brentford player to score against Tottenham Hotspur, Bradley, it's a good name. It's a good name from the recent past. I'll let you have a think about that. Here's Kane, turns, shoots over the top. It's deflected, I think. It's a corner. Yeah, Martin Atkinson has a think about it. That's Harry Kane's first moment inside the penalty area.
It was just worked into his feet. A little bit of disguise from Romero. Just moved the feet of the long-legged Janssen there, Harry Kane. He slipped slightly, leaning back, but his shot did take a deflection, and Son will curl this corner in.
Corner number 4 for Spurs in this game.
I don't have that answer, Nick, for you. Sorry.
No, don't you. It's one of these ones for people to ponder. It was Lloyd Owusu.
Oh, wow.
Remember him? Back in, that wasn't in 1948, 1998. Here's Son's corner, headed away by Janssen. Henry's gone down inside his own penalty area. Kulusevski's continuing to make progress. Henry's got back up. Kane's driving the touchline. A deflected cross that's headed behind by Mbeumo. Another Tottenham corner. Little bit of urgency for Spurs, Bradley.
Rico Henry's just asking. I don't know if he got trodden on when the ball went into the melee from the original corner kick that came in. But Harry Kane just ever so slightly working his way into the game, getting the ball in and around the penalty box in more dangerous positions. And Brentford now a little bit of defending to do themselves.
It was Lloyd Owusu in the EFL Cup, wasn't called that then, back in September of 1998. Here's another corner then. Son plays it short to Sessegnon. Back to Son, who attacks the edge of the box. Sessegnon swings this in quite flat, headed away by Tony. Comes out to Emerson Royal, 40 yards from goal. Wide to Kulusevski, right side, running at the edge of the box. Left-footed cross, that's dangerous. Son round the back, but it's flicked away from him. Alert defending by Janelt, who saw what was happening and just flicked it beyond Son, out for another Spurs corner.
Well, from the initial clearance, Spurs recycled out to the right-hand side, and so he's going to check back onto his favoured left foot. He had good curl. We were right behind it from commentary position from Kulusevski. Excellent defending, though, from Janelt at the far post.
Son again whips this in, headed away by Tony. He wins so many headers in his own box, Ivan Toney. Now Sessegnon's got to be careful, manages to hang on to possession. Tottenham have it inside their own half. Emerson back to Loris. The red and white shirts stream forward. Eriksson almost cuts off the clearance, which initially drops to Godos. There's no foul against Kulusevski. Antonio Conte's almost on the pitch. Godos feeds Henry down the left. Romero is able to get a foot in there and take it away from Rico Henry, and he's going to run this clear. Kane holds it up on the halfway line, manages to funnel it to Son, still inside his own half of the field. And there are lots of red shirts in front of him as he has to wait. Højbjerg clips it wide. Is Emerson onside? We'll find out. Breaks into the box, finds Kane, who shoots, blocked by Sorensen. Kulusevski's drive also blocked, and then Bentancur shoots, is deflected, still not clear. Højbjerg has a go, bashed away by Godos.
Courageous defending, bodies thrown on the line from a Brentford point of view, but Spurs have increased the intensity of their play. We've got a game on now, Nick. 54 minutes gone.
Well, they have woken up at long last. Bentancur uses Davies, who's up from the back, helping out again. Son on the left, level with the edge of the penalty area. Crosses early and high, and beyond Kulusevski and Emerson, who were arriving at the far post. Goal kick, 0-0, 10 second half minutes play.
Yeah, that was disappointing. It's just sort of building some pressure there. Just when you want the technique. Seeing a replay of Royale's cut back, Harry Kane on the swivel. Good defending, wasn't it, from Madsbeck there. Getting his body in the way, stopping the goal-bound effort.
No Ethan Pinnock, no Christopher Ayer, so two of Brentford's senior centre-halves out injured today. But the covering defender Madsbeck Sorensen has done well so far. Just on the Harry Kane situation, actually, Brentford are the only one of 31 Premier League teams that Kane has faced, who he hasn't scored against yet. So there's something else for Harry Kane to perhaps try and tidy away over the course of the remaining 35 minutes. But it's still 0-0. Kulusevski's hurtling forward. Janelt intercepts again, and then Janssen's pass forward is just too far in front of Rico Henry. And Højbjerg takes a throw into his own half of the field. Eric Dyer controls
the slight
it.
change that I've seen is I think the Spurs front three are playing a little bit closer together, and it's allowed then Sessegnon and Royale to move forward in the wing-back positions, and it's pushed Brentford back. They've moved the ball quicker, they're running more, Tottenham here.
Sessegnon tries to feed Davies, who got forward again, and it's cleared away by Janssen. They're just starting to find people, aren't they, Spurs? Again, Ben Davies does like to pop up inside the opponent's penalty area. Sessegnon nearly found him.
Well, that was the formation and that left-sided centre-half of three that Chris Ryder used for a season, didn't he, at Sheffield United so successfully. Break for Brentford, though.
And Mbeumo through the middle. And Eriksson, challenged by Romero, just takes it off him. And they've given it away again, Spurs. And Mbeumo on the corner of the penalty area. Skips in field. Eriksson. Wide to Henry on that left-hand side. Wants to run at Emerson. He's got past him into the penalty area. We're waiting for the cross, and Romero gets the block in. It's a Brentford corner.
Excellent from Rico Henry. Just 1v1. Quick feet, little change of direction. Left side of the 18-yard box. Away from Royale. Romero to the rescue there for Spurs, because Henry from that left byline was going to cross into a really dangerous position.
Brentford fans in good voice. Here's the delivery from Christian Eriksen from the Brentford left, right-footed, so it swings in. He has to bide his time, and now it's fired in towards the near post, only cleared as far as Jensen, who sends it into the mix. Janssen helps it on, it's scrambled away by Sessegnon, not clear. Tony into the mix and gathered by Loris. Well, Pontus Janssen won the second header, didn't he? And it drifted towards goal. Sessegnon to the rescue.
Yeah, although Spurs got the first contact, it was Brentford. It was back into the congested area, and it almost created and resulted in a chance of the home side. I suspect, Nick, a goal is imminent. The match is swinging towards that, isn't it?
Spurs are coming forward with more certainty. Here they come again now with Davies, Kane, Sessegnon edge of the box. Good challenge from Godos. But Spurs do have more belief when they come forward, but Brentford look dangerous as well. That's why Bradley Allen's sounded the warning. Something might be about to occur to change the balance of this contest. We've had 13.5 minutes. This is BBC Radio London. Bradley Allen and Nick Godwin watching a London derby at the Brentford Community Stadium, which at the moment is 0-0. It's with Dyer on the halfway line for Spurs. Højbjerg uses Emerson outside him. Kulusevski's beyond him. Again, Rico Henry takes it away from Emerson. And Mbeumo deep inside his own half. And then he goes sprinting after the return ball from Henry. Here he is with Bentancur, and Bentancur's fouled Brian Mbeumo. And it's a free kick in what you might call Christian Eriksen
territory. Yeah, he's let a few of them go, hasn't he, the referee? I think he's tried to allow freedom to this game, and he's given a good performance. Credit where it's due. That one, I think, and Mbeumo, not much in that. Just sort of lent on him. Clumsy more than anything, wasn't it, from Bentancur? But a certain Mr. Eriksen will fizz this one in, Nick, won't he?
Say, this is
a couple of brilliant corners from him in the first half.
It's down the left. It's about 30-35 yards from goal, but wide. And Mbeumo, and it's to the left, so this would favour the right foot of Eriksen. Just to, well, you know what I'm going to say, just to clip it into the box, just to fizz it in with a bit of pace and imagination. You'll have seen him do this many times in a Tottenham shirt, but he's doing it these days in a Brentford shirt to a great deal of success. So he's drilled it down the line for Mbeumo, and steaming in is Kulusevski to make the challenge. Another Brentford corner, so Eriksen's at it again.
Yeah, he was sort of on his toes and reacted well there, Kulusevski. I'm not sure he needed to slide in, Nick, and put the ball out for another corner. You've got the list. It's been so many across this game.
We've had 10 for Brentford. This is the 10th for Brentford. It is the 16th corner of this match. Eriksen again, who's taken most of them. Plays it short to Mbeumo. Back to Eriksen in a crossing position, onto his left foot. Low drilled in ball. Kane controls it. Has he stopped that going out for another corner? No, he hasn't. I beg your pardon. No, this is the 11th corner of Brentford, the 17th corner of the game. I'll get mine. There's so many corners, Bradley, I'm having to add up in my head. Not my strong suit. I'll take my shoes and socks off soon so I can keep count.
Apologies, Nick. I put that on you, didn't I? You're trying to concentrate on the game, and then you...
I'm adding up my 5s and 10s, and it's giving me something of a headache. Here we go again then. Eriksen with the right-footed delivery. Swung towards the far post. Flicked away as far as Röslev, who sends it high. into the box. Tony gets something on that, but it's cleared away as far as Kulusevski. Back to Tony, who goes down. Ref's going to give that, is he? He is.
Well, the first touch on Kulusevski wasn't particularly good when Spurs sort of cleared the box. There was contact there on Ivan Toney, 24 yards out from goal, off centre. And I think Mbeumo Eriksson, I fancy this. Lovely distance, this one, to be whipped over the Tottenham Hotspur wall and test out Hugo Lloris.
Well, those are the two players over it. This is to the right of centre. Maybe it'll favour Mbeumo, but Eriksson's having a look. It's just under 30 yards from goal. The 5-man wall is sighted on the edge of the Tottenham box. And Mbeumo's next to the ball. Eriksson stepped away. Could be Mbeumo, you know, here striking this. Both of them are set and ready. Who's going to have a go? It's Eriksson, it's into the wall. And it goes out for a throw-in. Time for a Mads Beck Sorensen special. A big grin on Christian Eriksson's face. It's just lovely to see him smiling, isn't it, really? I know it sounds simplistic, but...
Yeah, he's getting a great reception as well.
He certainly is. He's everyone's delighted to see him.
They're very efficient, Brentford, from set plays. They have a set play coach. You know, they work on these with real discipline on the training pitch, and they've scored goals in fixtures this season.
Here's Sorensen's long high throw, flicked on by Janssen, and only half cleared. Roslev collects. It's going to go out wide to Godos. I don't think he'll keep this in play, and it's gone out for a throw-in. So he stopped it going out for a goal kick, to be fair to him. Dusk in West London on BBC Radio London. The sun setting over on the far side. 10-7. Lots at stake this evening in the battle for top 4 football, and of course the London derby bragging rights. Here's Heung-min Son in possession of the football for Spurs on the halfway line. Davies up in support. Now Sessegnon. First start for 6 weeks or so for him. Godos with him. Oh, and he's sent that, when I say towards goal, in the very loosest sense of the word towards, because it goes miles over the top of Raya's goal frame and out for a goal kick, 0-0.
He looked really disappointed there, Antonio Conte, with that cross. He had a bit to do, Sessegnon. Tried to go on the outside, but to just put it over the crossbar like that, you know, I wonder, you know, what his thoughts are at the moment. Well, he's got a few substitutes warming up. Bourgeois, Mora, 2 more attacking players. Sanchez. Is it time for a change or two?
Well, we've had 20 second half minutes. It's Brentford 0, Tottenham 0. Although Spurs have been a little bit more positive in this second half. They've hardly carved Brentford open. I mean, they are better, no question. But they do keep giving it away in bad areas. Here's Eriksson, edge of the box, towards goal, just wide. I think Lloris might have had it covered. In fact, I think there might have been a hand from Hugo Lloris to touch it round the post. And it's a Brentford corner again.
Well, the ball went back to Dyer and he played a straight pass. Janel pinched it off of Son and they broke forward. Eriksson's shot just took the faintest of deflections wide of the goal. It's all Brentford at the moment.
Here we go with the Eriksson routine once again. Right-footed in-swinger from the Bees left, and he strikes it now towards the edge of the 6-yard box. The goalkeeper got something on that. Comes out to Roslev into the box. Jansen's header off the line by Kane. Falls to Eriksson inside the box. Drills it, saved, and then lifted clear by Romero. Spurs clinging on, only just, then given away by Jensen. There's a chance for a counter-attack here for Spurs. Højbjerg on the halfway line, bundled over by Pontus Jansson. That will do, I think, for Brentford to try and stop it. Yellow card for Jansson, who just shut Højbjerg over. Free kick to Spurs, quickly taken. Here's Sessegnon down the left. Not much for him to aim at yet. Biding his time. Now Son. Forced back wide to Sessegnon. Drives at the touchline. Wins a corner. Spurs 7th corner of the game, but they should be 1-0 down.
Yeah, Harry Kane to the rescue. Been so dangerous. Little flick on, there he was to the right. Hugo Lloris to head away. And even when the ball come back out, Ericsson was clever, shooting between legs into the near post area, and it's a good stop low down to his right hand side from Hugo Lloris. But at the other end, Tottenham corner, all action, Nick, stay with it.
Son to take it, right-footed in-swinger, and it comes towards the near post. Bentoncourt's header is closer than the effort earlier, which flew over the top, but it still goes over the bar and out of play for a goal kick, and we can draw breath with 22 second half minutes played. Pontus Jansson's header cleared off the line by Harry Kane. Eriksson's drive on the follow-up, saved brilliantly by Hugo Lloris. You're now almost asking the question of Brentford, why haven't you scored? Off the bar from Tony. A couple of deflected efforts in the first half. Eriksson with 2 efforts saved by Lloris. Pontus Jansson's header off the line. They've had enough chances to win this game of football, the Bees. No question of that. Spurs still haven't really created anything properly dangerous. Although they have been more positive in this second half. We should probably still say that. Here's Bentoncourt, who had that header over a little bit earlier. Davies into Son, tries to get it around the corner for Kane. Cut out by Brentford, but back to Davies on this left-hand side. Here's a cross that floats over everybody. Emerson trudges out to this near side to keep it alive. Højbjerg. Pontus Jansson rather, was booked, by the way, earlier on for that challenge on Højbjerg. But the Bees have it inside their own half of the field, and now the referee's waved advantage. Eriksson's misplaced that. Oh, and then Sessegnon's just bumped off the ball so easily, and there's loads of space here for Godos if he can get to it. Ben Davies has sensed the danger. Ryan Sessegnon just knocked over like a puff of wind there.
Yeah, Spurs tried to press. Nutmegged Højbjerg. Eriksson went for a speculative pass, and it was going straight across the pitch to Sessegnon. And you thought if his first touch is better, no danger, Spurs have got the ball back, and he was just a bit of contact and he fell over. Far too easy.
I mean, this is a youngster who grew up in the Championship. He'd have been used to much worse than that and stayed on his feet. Still not firing on all cylinders here, Spurs. But it's 0-0, and a win would take them back into 4th place on goal difference. Sessegnon into Son, can't control it. Godos will clear. Sessegnon battling with him. And it's cleared by Roslev to the halfway line. Højbjerg's won this back. Bentoncourt peels away from his man, tries to feed Kane, but Roslev spots the danger. Then Janelt takes it away from Kulusevski. Play forward towards the halfway line. Tony and Eriksson almost combined. Højbjerg goes down. That's a free kick to Tottenham just inside their own half of the field.
Clever there from Højbjerg, not much. Little clip of the heel from his Danish counterpart, but Spurs again have, got this situation where Brentford are back and numbers and very compact, really disciplined. Can they find a way? Are they going to get through here, Nick? Is there going to be a clever pass? Somebody maybe to take a player on.
Sessegnon
a bit
down
of change up in their play.
Running at Godos, sends in a low cross that's cut out by Janelt. Then Roslev from inside his own penalty area wants to try and release some Buemo, but Dyer's alive to the danger. Cuts out the pass forward, gets Spurs going again through the middle of the field. Bentoncourt has it, picks out Kulusevski on the right. Romero's gone ahead of him to try and offer something. Højbjerg takes over. Brentford have retreated into their own 1/3 of the field. Dyer has it outside the centre circle. Højbjerg wide to Kulusevski. The Brentford fans still believe, but Spurs are attacking at the moment. Given to Ben Davies on the left. Wide to Son on the flank, edge of the penalty area. Skips into the box. That's a better, well, it was a better cross until it found David Raya, who plucked it out of the air. And all that hard work comes to nothing. 20 minutes to go, 0-0.
Yeah, probing, trying to work the ball, trying to work that opening. It's just not finding a way at the moment, Tottenham Hotspur. And Brentford keep believing, I think, in their methods and their tactics tonight. But they, with, 20 minutes ago, collision. Tony Romero, treatment, drinks time.
Yes, and possibly our opportunity to gaze down at that substitutes bench for Tottenham, Bradley, and speculate as to what could happen to try and affect the game from a Spurs perspective. We can take a look at the Brentford bench as well, actually, which is depleted because of the big absentees that Brentford have, but from an attacking point of view, Jan Wieser is available. If they want more width, Josh De Silva, Tariq Fosu-Henry are both there. Shandon Baptiste, perhaps in midfield. But from a Spurs perspective, you know, it's the Steven Bergwijn, Lucas Moura axis. And they're not in the first team at the moment because Antonio Conte thinks that Dejan Kulusevski is the best partner for Heung-min Son and Harry Kane out there. So there is some thinking and some plotting. We're going to see Davinson Sanchez. Is that Davinson Sanchez down there? We're just going to... Yes, it is.
Yeah. I think Romero's okay. He's just coming across, holding his right hip.
He's being prepared. Davinson Sanchez is.
I'm not sure if he's being substituted here, Romero. He's waiting to come back on the pitch. Ivan Toney's taking a little bit longer with his treatment. I wonder if this is going to... Tottenham are going to go to back four, maybe. Put Romero right wing back. Bring Royale off, maybe. That they might be an idea for the change, but Sanchez is certainly going to be introduced to Tottenham, first sub of the match.
Yes, you could play Ben Davies as a left back and then have Sessegnon as a left winger, I suppose, if they go to a 4. Maybe. Romero is going to come back on and Sanchez is going to come on. So unless they're going to take off another centre half, well, we wondered if, because when he brought on, I seem to remember him bringing on Bergwijn and Moura in the game against Brighton, and it made absolutely no difference at all to the way Spurs were working. This is fed forward looking for Sessegnon for Spurs. He's won the header, drops the Son inside the box, taken away from him by Godos. Collected by Sessegnon down that left side once again. Held up. Manages to find Davies left side, goes back to Dyer, edge of the centre circle. He's going to drill it forward. Oh, and it could have found Son, but it was just too far in front of him, and it's a goal kick. And we're going to have this change, and I just wonder who Davinson Sanchez is going to come on for. If it's a personnel change, you'd understand it, but if it's a tactical change, and it's Ryan Sessegnon who's coming off. Or Ryan Sessegnon with a big sigh as his numbers brought up.
Maybe Davis to left wing back now.
Yep.
Possibly the ball to the Welshman in a wider position, more advanced position, maybe a cross, because Sessegnon has been served with the ball a few times. But unfortunately, hasn't really looked like assisting in this second half.
Well, he's a man who knows West London very well. Born over the river in the Queen Mary Hospital, very close to where the river meets Craven Cottage on the other side. He will have been very disappointed not to have had more of an impact today, especially given how long he was out injured for. Ben Davies is indeed now the left wing back. And here's the right wing back, Emerson Royale for Tottenham inside Brentford territory. Kulusevski goes back to Dyer. First touch for Davinson Sanchez on that left side, wide to Davies, who's hugging the flank. He's going to move infield. Set it back to Dyer. There are only 15 minutes left here at the Brentford Community Stadium on BBC Radio London. Collected by Sanchez. Again, Spurs just being held up by Brentford on the edge of the centre circle. Forward to Emerson. Romero on the right. Into Højbjerg, who offloads to Sanchez, who enters the Brentford third of the field. Now Heung-min Son on that left-hand side. Plays it in for Bentancur. Back to Højbjerg. Bentancur again, keeps it, but can't break into the box. Sanchez. Spurs with a high number of consecutive passes now. Højbjerg, halfway inside the Brentford half of the field. Here's Dyer. We're going to see Yohan Wieser come on very shortly for the Bees. Here's Emerson on the right flank for Spurs. Turns and heads towards the corner flag. Feeds it forward for Kulusevski, who's got Sorensen with him. Kulusevski turns his man and gets a crossing that almost finds Davies. He just fizzes off his head. And the loose ball is collected by Højbjerg. Godos has gone down inside the penalty area. Højbjerg's broken into the box, sets it for Son or Kulusevski. They can't get hold of it. Drops to Sanchez inside the box. It's only half taken away from him. Relentless pressure this by Tottenham all of a sudden. Romero inside the Brentford half given to Bentancur's son. Davies cleared away for Tony, who's dispossessed by Dyer.
Probably Spurs' best couple of minutes of the match, Nick, isn't it?
Well, they've really pressed Brentford back. There's a foot-in by Jensen, but it only falls to Davies on that left-hand side, and Spurs are coming forward again. The purple shirts are encamped in the Brentford penalty area. Davies on the left. In comes the cross. It flashes awkwardly across the 6-yard box, but no one can get there.
Treatment. There's some fatigued Brentford players. I think Royschleff as well, who's been very disciplined at right full-back this evening, and they're going to get those fresh legs on, aren't they? Thomas Frank and his coaching staff.
Yeah, Johan Wieser is the first change. And is that Josh De Silva down there? It is, isn't it? Yeah, double change coming up for Brentford. Godos is down injured and it hasn't moved. And just give Brentford the chance to have a little rest, because Spurs have possession there for 3-4 minutes. Were pumping the ball one side to the other. And Godos is the one whose name is mentioned first.
I've got to say as well, across the season, he's often shuffled his pack very well, Thomas Frank. Players for 5 minutes, 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes have come on and often had an impact, had a contribution, and done something important.
The other change is Matthias Jensen coming off. Josh De Silva is coming on, making his third substitute appearance of the season. De Silva, he's had a long injury absence.
Yeah, he's a popular figure here, isn't he?
Sent off against Spurs in the EFL Cup at the new Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in January of last year. Sure, he won't want to make that mistake again. But 12 minutes to go. Spurs have made one change. Brentford have made two, and we're back underway. And Wieser's won that header, trying to release De Silva. Cut out by Sanchez, out for a throw-in. It's a Spurs throw-in.
Well, it's certainly going to be late if Spurs are going to win this football match, Nick.
Brentford have won 5 of the last 6, and every game in which Christian Eriksen has started. I wonder if there's something in this for them as well. If it is a draw, it'll take Spurs on to 58 points, 2 points behind Arsenal. But Spurs are on the attack. It's cleared by Janelt to Romero. This is all inside the Brentford half of the field. They are at the moment being penned in by Spurs. The applause you can hear is for Saman Godos. Makes his way round the pitch. Here's Emerson on the right-hand side. Into Højbjerg. To Dyer. And Emerson skipped to the touchline. Crosses charge down. Kulusevski breaks into the box. And Janelt puts it behind. Tottenham corner. 11 minutes to go.
Yeah, possibly Son. Kulusevski, that might be the type of Spurs player, just a little ball carry, Nick, a change of direction, a dribble, a 1v1, going past the defender to get them into an even better position inside the penalty box. But another set play, Brentford got to defend this.
Son raises his right arm to take this corner for Spurs, and it's whipped in towards Jansen, who heads it clear. Recycled by Kulusevski to Højbjerg on the left. It's got Eriksen holding him up. Comes back to Bentancur. He's going to lift in a cross. It's awkward. Sanchez brings it down. Does well to hold it up initially. And now Son is going to lift it into the penalty area. Missed by a couple of defenders. Tony hooks it clear. Antonio Conte has walked halfway towards Raya's goal to get some instructions on. Watching closely as Kulusevski from the flank crosses in towards Romero, who heads it up in the air, but Wieser's able to tidy up and clear. And then Josh De Silva's hooked that into the stands. Spurs throw. 9.5 minutes to go.
Well, they're edging Brentford back here, Tottenham, aren't they? Just purely because of more controlled possession, but still not that clear-cut opportunity as we go into the last 10 minutes of normal time.
They've still not really created anything, Bradley, in the game. I've not written anything down. Here's Sanchez on halfway for Spurs, the substitute. Davies, who's been pushed out to left wing back, rolled forward for Son. He's got Kane ahead of him. Oof, cut out by Pontus Jansson. Important intervention. Romero's won it back. Bentancur attacking the edge of the Brentford box, put in by Janelt. That'll
sure
do
Jansen
for Brentford at the moment.
Knew much about that. It struck his backside, I think, Nick, didn't it? On
well,
the pass that was tried to play forward from Son.
He got something in the way. Back to Dyer inside his own half of the field. Razer comes to close him down. Brentford have edged out of their own box for the first, their own half of the field for the first time in a while. Long ball forward for Tottenham, headed back into Tottenham territory by Jansen. Spurs will build from the right with Emerson Royale inside his own half. Back to Dyer. Again, it's all still a little bit congested from Spurs. Kulusevski now stretches his legs and rolls this forward into the penalty area. It's going to come on. There was a shout for, is it handball against Kane? Free kick, Brentford inside their own penalty area.
Well, the ball slipped through to Harry Kane from Kulusevski, and he tried to reverse the cross, and it spun up off the block, struck his arm. Lucas Moura just getting readied. An attacking change here for Tottenham. Will they go 4 up front? I wonder.
Well, maybe sacrifice one of Bentancur or Højbjerg or one of the centre halves. Lucas Moura, Tottenham's patron saint of lost causes, the hero of the Amsterdam Arena. This won't quite be on that scale if he can get something, but Tottenham need to turn their fortunes around. They lost against Brighton last Saturday, and they're drawing at the moment after Arsenal took 6 points from games against Manchester United and Chelsea. Or the referee took forever to give that free kick against Son. Højbjerg's furious with him.
I'm not sure. I think someone's in front of his man now, and the Brentford defender, when it was turned infield to him. He's gone down a bit easy there, Janot, but Brentford free kick given. On we go.
Christian Eriksen over this free kick just outside the centre circle. Lucas Moura is going to come on.
Well, is it a grandstand finish for Brentford? Because we've seen that this season here, haven't we?
Here's another dink ball into the box. It's headed up in the air but not clear. Bit of a scramble. Tony in there. Tony goes to ground. Son has helped this ball away. Kane's going to try and lead the counter-attack. Manages to find the pass rather to Kulusevski on the right. Emerson surging forward. The pass is tired from Kulusevski. De Silva has tidied that up, and Brentford are going to build from the edge of their own penalty area. And it's Antonio Conte continues to loiter inside the Brentford half of the field, miles from his technical area, trying to get instructions on. And Buemo back to Roerslev. His clearance goes only as far as Sanchez. We're still waiting for Lucas Moura to come on. Here comes Bentancur for Tottenham with just over 5 minutes left. Son, Davis, Højbjerg, little clip ball forward, away on the thigh by Pontus Jansson. Here's Johan Wieser, goes down under a challenge from Romero. Free kick, Brentford quickly taken. Eriksen drills this forward, and De Silva surging between two defenders, managed to get the better of Emerson and then sweeps it across. It's only half clear, and it drops to Højbjerg, and Thomas Frank is furious. He thought that was a chance to nick something. Tottenham go forward again. There's been no break in play for a while. Lucas Moura cannot get on the field. It's back with Emerson. Well, he plays the ball across to Sanchez. I don't think he can get there. Davison Sanchez, oh dear. Throw in Brentford, and Spurs in too much of a hurry. Emerson goes off, Moura goes on. This will involve a formation switch around for Tottenham. Looks like they'll go to a back four, and another striker, another forward player sent on, Bradley.
Yeah, you know, Tottenham have to go for it here, but the risk is that Brentford are just intercept one and counter themselves, and they look dangerous in those situations. We've seen it on 2 or 3 occasions because they've got the energy. They've got the players that can, you know, surge forward over 40-50 metres upon winning the ball back.
Kulusevski to right wing back, Moura ahead of him. That's the change. Here's the throw in for Brentford inside Spurs territory. Eriksen collects down the right hand side, challenged by Højbjerg. Throw in for Brentford again, and it will be Sorensen's delivery. Chances are this will go in the box.
Yeah, it's just when Spurs had that little bit of sustained spell of pressure for 3 or 4 minutes of moving the ball without creating a chance. It's almost gone a little bit like the end of the game against Brighton, hasn't it?
And we all know what happened then.
And there were stoppages, and you know, Brighton nudged their way forward, and obviously Trossard scored a late winner in that match.
Sorensen with the big long throw into the penalty area, half cleared by Dyer and hooked away by Son. Last man back is Rico Henry, who uses Raya outside his penalty area. Ivan Toney's peeled away to the left if Raya can find him, and he can, and he's brought this down brilliantly, Toney, level with the edge of the Spurs penalty area. Kulusevski asked to deal with him. Henry comes forward to offer some support. Brentford are a little bit cautious themselves about surging forward. Comes back to Sorensen. The other thing to
well, they do deserve something from the game, the home side. They've more than contributed. They've been really spirited. They had those chances across the first half, struck the woodwork, like you say, Nick. Couple in the early part of this second half. It's been a really solid performance, hasn't it, from Thomas Frank's side?
With fractionally better luck and better finishing, they could be in front with 3 minutes of the 90 to go, but Brentford are on the attack. It's with Henry down the left. He's going to swing this in towards the far post, and Buemo jumps but can't direct it towards goal. It's a goal kick for Brentford, and it's still 0-0 at the Brentford Community Stadium. We've got 2.5 minutes of the 90 minutes to go. And Arsenal fans, who will have enjoyed their lunchtime,
oh, what a week,
will be shaking their head in wonderment at the scorelines that they've seen from their old enemy over the course of the last week. That is a rather hopeful ball forward by Davinson Sanchez. Roerslev comes back to deal with it. Kane is the closest to Raya here, but the Brentford goalkeeper, so accomplished with his kicking, sends it forward. Toney tries to flick it on, can't find Wieser. Dyer will launch it down the channel. Oh, now Lucas Moura has managed to get goal side of his man, and Sorensen's hauled him back. That'll be a yellow card.
Yeah, he did well. He jumped early, Moura there. He was clever. Bit of experience. Madsbeck got the bouncing ball wrong, Nick, didn't he? And he nudged it away from him. This is right on the corner.
Had to pull him
Will
down,
he shoot? Kulusevski, Son. Will it go into the box? We're nearly at the 90th minute. There's been a few subs. 3 or 4 minutes injury time potentially. I think it was at Watford, Nick, was it? Spurs scored an incredibly late goal. Sanchez, I think it was.
Winner, Sanchez, I can't remember if he knew much about it. That was earlier in the season. They'll need something late and dramatic now to take them back into 4th place. Brentford 0, Tottenham 0. We're about to enter the 90th minute. Son and Kulusevski over this by the corner of the box. It's going to be Son who whips it in. It's gathered by Raya. Too comfortable really for the Brentford goalkeeper. And he's going to launch this long. The target on that side of the field is going to be Henry, who has managed to find Buemo, who's chopped down by Bentancur, who gets booked for his trouble.
Took one for the team. Lovely distribution. He's one of the best in the Premier League, in my opinion. David Raya with his feet.
Yeah.
He zings the ball, doesn't he? He can play short, comfortable on the back pass. And when he hits range, he's almost as good as Ederson, isn't he? And playing into the opposite half of the pitch, off of, you know, a drop ball, a half volley.
Now,
a full volley serve.
Christian Eriksen is going to send this free kick into the penalty area. Toney, so 3 minutes to add on. Toney, Sorensen, Janel, De Silva, all in there. Here's the delivery, and he's headed off the bar. Is it going to be sent in by Bremo? No, it's wide. And it's Toney who met the header, and it's seen to be sailing towards the corner, and then ping off the face of the post. Drop to Bremo at the side netting. He's hit the post twice in this game, and they both stayed out.
So unlucky from Ivan Toney. And nobody would have argued, Nick, if you know, Brentford there would have got themselves another late winning goal.
We're playing the first minute of stoppage time. Here come Brentford again. Toney down the left-hand side. He's got Buemo making his way into the penalty area. The little pass that looks for Wieser can't find him. and Spurs will clear, and Kane collects on the halfway line. Makes some inroads. Brentford have got everybody back. Square for Bentancur. We've had one chance at the end of this game. Is there going to be another one? Tony's hit the bar and the post. Kulusevski lifts this high towards Kane. Bicycle kick pushed away by Raya, or has he not touched it? It's gone wide.
Right, it's worth a go. He's had zero chances all game. Only Harry Kane.
How far away
could
is
produce
that?
Something like that. A foot wide.
91 minutes. It's the first Spurs chance I've written down, Bradley. 91 minutes, having just seen Ivan Toney strike the post.
And that would have been a smash and grab for Tottenham Hotspur, Nick, if that had nestled in, and the goal of the season.
Raya's going to clear. We've had chances at both ends in stoppage time. Dyer's just walloped that forward, straight back to Raya, who is going to wait until Kane gets right close to him and then collects, and will clear downfield once again. We've got about 40 seconds of the 3 minutes to go. Tottenham have not drawn a game in 2022, but they are moments away from drawing this one. Reyes sent that long, helped on for Wieser. Oh, now the referee spotted, I think there was an offside, was there?
Yeah, I think this will be it. Romero's picking himself up. He got bumped there, didn't he, as Tony, you know, challenged for the ball in the out.
Oh. They've got Hey Jude ready.
The sound effects have gone early.
Steady there. Not quite yet. Someone's left the fader up. Dyer goes long. Kane wins it. Drops to the edge of the box now, and Davies. That's hit Roerslev and gone out of play for a throw. No, it hasn't. It's gone out of play, and the referee's blown his whistle. And it's finished 0-0. And Antonio Conte turns away from the action, shakes hands with Thomas Frank, and heads down the tunnel. And at the end of this latest round of top four tombola, it is Arsenal who lead the way by 2 points. Both teams have played today. Arsenal have beaten Manchester United, and Tottenham have been held up by a Brentford side who've been in such excellent form. And if you look at the chances over the course of the 90 minutes, it is Brentford who might count themselves unlucky to have not won it. Tottenham's first really big chance came in stoppage time at the end of the game. That spectacular bicycle kick from Harry Kane that wasn't too far away. But before that, Ivan Toney had hit the bar. He'd headed against the post. Pontus Jansson had had a header cleared off the line by Kane. And there have been other opportunities of Christian Eriksen denied twice by Hugo Lloris in Tottenham's goal as well. I'd love to tell you about all the other Tottenham chances, but there really weren't any. And you tack this onto the 90 minutes against Brighton and the first half against Aston Villa, and creating chances is all of a sudden becoming a real problem for Antonio Conte's side. Both Tottenham and Arsenal have played 33 times this season. Tottenham have 58 points, Arsenal have 60. Manchester United have 4 points behind Tottenham, having played a game more, and Arsenal and West Ham 2 points further back, having played the same number of games as Tottenham and Arsenal, with 52 points. This top four battle is far from over because everybody appears to be able to drop points at any given point. But it's been a really tough week for Spurs. They've taken 1 point from their last two games, and Arsenal have taken 6, which is why they lead the chase for fourth place at the end of this week of Premier League football. The Brentford fans celebrate with their team. They think their side are staying up and in style as well, and they know they had the better chances to win the game today. A fascinating derby in West London, and those Brentford players, they're pleased, but to be fair, they must be thinking we probably should have won it. Full time at the BCS, Brentford 0, Tottenham 0.
BBC Radio London,
the home of London football.